At 3:27 Hawaii Standard Time, on the afternoon of May 14, 2026, lava began fountaining out of the Halemaumau crater at the summit of Kilauea volcano on the Big Island of Hawaii. The fountaining is occurring right now. The eruption is part of an ongoing sequence. The United States Geological Survey has been numbering as discrete episodes since December 23, 2024. This event is episode 47. The United States Geological Survey's Hawaiian Volcano Observatory detected precursory overflows from the active vent system at 2:57 in the morning, Hawaii Standard Time, approximately 12.5 hours before the main fountaining phase began. The observatory issued public notification through its standard communications protocol. The visitor center at Hawaii Volcanoes National Park, located approximately 1 mile north of the active crater, was placed on heightened operational status. The chain of craters road and the crater rim drive remained open with restricted access. The fountaining itself, when it began, was visible from the Kilauea overlook with the naked eye. But here is what the casual visitor and the casual news consumer almost never understands about Kilauea. The volcano is not in a state of unrest. It is in a state of normal operation. Kilauea has been continuously active in some form for approximately the past 36 years, with the longest continuous eruption sequence in modern American volcanic history, running from January 3, 1983, through April 30, 2018, at the Pu'u vent on the East Rift Zone. The current summit fountaining sequence at Halemaumau began on December 23, 2024. Episodes have been occurring at intervals ranging from a few days to several weeks. Episode 47 is simply the latest in a series the Hawaiian Volcano Observatory is now tracking as the longest sustained sequence of summit lava fountaining events in the recorded history of the volcano. Right now, on the floor of Halemaumau crater, lava is being ejected at heights and rates that the Hawaiian Volcano Observatory is in the process of measuring. Previous episodes in this sequence have produced fountains ranging from approximately 50 feet to over 1,000 feet in maximum height. The longest single fountain pulse in the sequence so far lasted approximately 28 hours. The shortest lasted under 2 hours. The volume of lava ejected per episode has varied from a few 100,000 cubic yards to over 4 million cubic yards. The current episode is, at the time of this writing, ongoing. The story of Kilauea is the story of one of the most consistently active and most photographed volcanoes on Earth, and also the story of one of the most lethal volcanic events in the recorded history of the United States. Kilauea is a shield volcano on the southeastern flank of Mauna Loa, the largest active volcano in the world. Kilauea itself rises only 4,091 feet above sea level, which is modest by volcanic standards, but its base extends thousands of feet below sea level on the floor of the Pacific Ocean. The volcano is composed almost entirely of basaltic lava, the relatively fluid form of magma that produces the long-flowing lava flows, and the spectacular fountains that have made Kilauea internationally famous. The summit caldera, which contains Halemaumau crater, is approximately 2 miles wide. Halemaumau itself, before 2018, was approximately 2,700 feet wide. After the catastrophic summit collapse of 2018, the crater expanded to approximately 1 mile in diameter and is now significantly deeper than it was before. In Hawaiian tradition, Halemaumau is the home of Pele, the goddess of volcanoes. The crater has been continuously, intermittently, or near continuously active for the entire span of Hawaiian recorded history. The most deadly volcanic event in United States history occurred at Kilauea in November of 1790. An explosive eruption at the summit produced a series of pyroclastic surges that killed an estimated 80 Hawaiian warriors moving across the volcano's flanks during a military campaign. The event, known in Hawaiian tradition as Keonehelelei, the Falling Sands, is documented in oral history
and in physical evidence preserved in the volcanic deposits surrounding the summit. No other volcanic event on United States territory has produced a documented death toll exceeding 80 individuals. But here's the part that almost nobody outside Hawaii is told about Kilauea. The volcano's deadliness, in the historical record, is the exception. Kilauea's modern character is overwhelmingly effusive rather than explosive. The volcano produces lava that flows rather than lava that explodes. The lava flows are slow enough to be outrun on foot in most circumstances. The fountaining, when it occurs, is dramatic but spatially confined to the immediate vicinity of the vent. The Hawaiian Volcano Observatory, established in 1912, has documented thousands of distinct eruptive events at Kilauea over the past century. The vast majority of those events have caused property damage, but no direct fatalities. The 2018 Lower East Rift Zone eruption was the exception that proved the modern rule. Between May 3rd and August 4th, 2018, magma from the Kilauea summit system migrated downhill along the East Rift Zone and broke out at the surface in the Leilani Estates and Lanapuna Gardens subdivisions in the Lower Puna district, approximately 25 miles east of the summit. The eruption opened 24 separate fissures along a 6-mile-long zone. Lava flows from Fissure 8, the most productive of the 24 vents, traveled approximately 8 miles to the ocean over the course of 3 months. The flows destroyed approximately 716 homes. The lava covered approximately 14 square miles of land. The town of Kapoho, including its iconic tide pools, was entirely obliterated. The total property and infrastructure damage was estimated at approximately $800 million. The Hawaiian Volcano Observatory's monitoring building at the summit was so damaged by the simultaneous summit caldera collapse that the entire facility had to be evacuated and rebuilt at a new location. The summit caldera, in the same 3-month period, collapsed in a sequence of approximately 60 discrete collapse events corresponding to magma withdrawal from the summit system to feed the downstream eruption. The summit subsided by approximately 1,500 feet at its deepest collapse point. Halemaumau crater expanded by a factor of approximately 3. The lava lake that had occupied the crater since 2008 drained completely. And here is what makes the current episode 47 sequence different from 2018. The current eruption is occurring at the summit. The magma is venting in the same spot the system has been venting for the past 16 months. There is no detectable migration of magma downhill toward the East Rift Zone or the Southwest Rift Zone. The Hawaiian Volcano Observatory has been clear in its public communications that the current sequence is, by every observable measurement, a contained summit eruption rather than the precursor of another 2018-style downstream catastrophe. Right now, on the morning of May 15th, the Hawaiian Volcano Observatory monitoring data is showing exactly what it has been showing for the past 16 months. Tilt meters are recording the rhythmic inflation and deflation of the summit, corresponding to the pressurization and release of magma from the shallow storage chamber approximately 1 to 2 miles beneath the surface. Seismometers are recording the harmonic tremor signatures that accompany fluid movement through volcanic conduits. Sulfur dioxide flux is elevated in the immediate vicinity of the crater, but within the range expected for active summit fountaining. The eruption is being observed in essentially real time by approximately 15 permanent seismic stations, multiple permanent tilt meters, 6 gas monitoring instruments, and a network of live-stream webcam feeds operated by the observatory and the National Park Service. But here is what the public Hawaii Volcanoes National Park visitor count rarely registers as a risk. The park receives approximately 1.5 million visitors per year. The Kilauea Overlook, the Steaming Bluff Overlook, the Sulphur Banks Trail, and the Crater Rim Drive all sit within a few miles of an active volcanic system that produces unpredictable explosive events at irregular intervals. The 1924 explosive eruption at Halemaumau, which occurred during a period of summit collapse following a magma withdrawal event, produced ballistic rock projectiles that traveled approximately 1/2 mile from the vent and killed one visitor. The 2018 summit collapse sequence produced multiple ballistic-bearing explosive events that, had the National Park Service not evacuated the immediate summit area, would have killed an unknown but potentially large number of visitors. The visitor experience at Kilauea, on a typical day, is profoundly safe. The risk profile is real, but the active monitoring and the established evacuation protocols reduce the practical risk to levels well below other activities the same visitors engage in routinely. The Hawaii Volcanoes National Park staff and the Hawaiian Volcano Observatory staff have over the past century refined an emergency response system that is among the most sophisticated visitor safety systems at any active volcanic location on the planet. This is where the current episode 47 matters. In a way, the previous 46 episodes did not. The Hawaiian Volcano Observatory issued the precursor notification for episode 47 at 2:57 a.m. Hawaii Standard Time on May 14th. The main fountaining phase began at 3:27 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time the same day. The gap between precursor detection and main phase fountaining was approximately 12.5 hours. That is a longer warning window than the Hawaiian Volcano Observatory has typically provided for previous episodes in this sequence, several of which produced less than 3 hours of warning between the precursor signal and the main fountain. Episode 47 is, in that respect, a relatively well-forecast event. But the 12.5-hour warning window is also the largest demonstration in the current sequence of the system's actual forecasting capability. The Hawaiian Volcano Observatory has spent the last 16 months refining its understanding of the precursor signatures that precede each summit fountaining episode. The forecasting accuracy has improved measurably with each episode. The observatory is, in published assessments, building an empirical real-time eruption forecasting model on a sequence of events that has provided more raw data than any previous comparable sequence in the history of volcanology. The scientific value of the episode 47 data, regardless of the visual spectacle, is enormous. The economic stakes are smaller than the scientific stakes, but they are not zero. Hawaii Volcanoes National Park generates approximately $380 million per year in visitor spending across the Big Island economy, according to the National Park Service's most recent published visitor spending impact analysis. The town of Volcano, just outside the park boundary, has a permanent population of approximately 2,500 residents whose local economy is essentially built around the park's visitation. The town of Hilo, the nearest commercial center, has a population of approximately 45,000 and serves as the principal logistical and commercial hub for everything happening at Kilauea. The communities downhill from the rift zones, including Pahoa, Leilani Estates as it has been rebuilt, and the small settlements of the lower Puna district, sit at variable distances from potential lava flow corridors. The total population that would face direct lava flow exposure in a scenario comparable to 2018 is approximately 25,000 residents. The current sequence has produced exactly 0 lava flow events affecting populated areas. The fountaining is occurring inside a closed crater that has been continuously instrumented and monitored for over a century. The volcano is behaving precisely the way the United States Geological Survey has been telling the public it would behave. The forecasting is working. The monitoring is working. The evacuation protocols are working. The visitor experience is, by every available metric, the safest it has been in modern Hawaiian volcanic history. This is the part of Kilauea that does not make for dramatic news coverage. The volcano is producing one of the most spectacular natural displays on Earth, on a schedule that the federal government is now able to forecast with approximately 12 hours of advance warning, in a location that has been continuously studied since 1912. With monitoring infrastructure that costs approximately $15 million per year to operate and produces scientific data of immense value to the broader volcanological community. The lava is flowing. The fountains are reaching hundreds of feet into the Hawaiian sky. The visitor overlooks are open. The science is being done. But here is the broader pattern worth noting. The current Halemaumau sequence is, by every available USGS measurement, an unusually productive eruption sequence even by Kilauea standards. Episode counts and total erupted volume have exceeded the agency's initial projections from when the sequence began in late 2024. The magma supply from the deep storage system beneath the volcano appears to be sustaining the sequence at rates higher than previous summit fountaining sequences. The implications for the long-term magma budget at Kilauea, and therefore for the potential for future East Rift Zone eruptions in the manner of 2018, are not yet fully understood. The Hawaiian Volcano Observatory's most recent published research, presented at the American Geophysical Union annual meeting in December 2025, suggests that the current sequence may be drawing on the same deep magma reservoir that supplied both the 1983 through 2018 Pu'u'u eruption and the 2018 Lower East Rift Zone catastrophe. What that means in plain terms is that the magma is still arriving from below. The summit is venting it at the surface, in episodes of spectacular but contained lava fountaining, on a schedule the federal government has gotten better and better at forecasting. The deeper question of where the magma supply ultimately goes, if it does not all vent at the summit, is the question Hawaiian Volcano Observatory researchers are spending their careers trying to answer. For now, on May 15th, 2026, the answer is straightforward. Episode 47 is venting at the summit, in the same crater that has been the volcano's primary vent for 2 centuries of Hawaiian recorded history. The visitors at the Kilauea Overlook are watching one of the most spectacular natural displays in the United States. The monitoring instruments are recording every detail. The National Park Service is managing the visitor experience. The Hawaiian Volcano Observatory is updating its forecasting model with each new data point. Somewhere inside the Halemaumau crater, the lava continues to fountain into the warm Hawaiian air, producing the geological event that has, in one form or another, been occurring at this exact location for approximately the past 300,000 years. The summit eruption is contained. The forecasting is working. The visitors are safe. The science is being done. And the clock, on episode 47, is still running.